All rise. Court is now in session.
Please be seated. We're on the record in 673876.
The high-risk domestic violence docket was developed to reduce the risk of violence and homicide in cases of intimate partner violence. So we essentially developed this docket in order to better address cases of intimate partner violence where there's a risk of homicide. It's a multidisciplinary team, and we all work together to change behaviors. We identify the cause of the behavior that causes someone to be violent in an intimate partner relationship. A lot of times that has to do with trauma that's been undiagnosed and untreated, and substance abuse issues.
We do intense monitoring on this docket, so every participant is on GPS monitoring with exclusion zones. There's a no contact order in all the cases.
They have to have a case that involves an allegation of strangulation or the use of a firearm, and sometimes both. Once those cases are identified, the file is marked, it's flagged that it's eligible for the high-risk docket. The participant has to volunteer to be a participant on the docket, and the assigned judge has to agree to refer the case to the high-risk domestic violence docket.
I think the high-risk docket is important because it allows a team of highly trained domestic violence court personnel the ability to help victims, to help defendants, and ultimately to help our community to ensure that there's safety and that there's behavior change.
These programs include a batterers intervention program. It includes linking with a behavioral health agency. It includes substance abuse treatment. It includes the requirement of having a full-time job, stable housing, and compliance with GPS monitoring and a no contact order with the victim.
This docket is very far-reaching, and it has the opportunity to really change the perspective in Cuyahoga County about how we handle domestic violence cases from both a perpetrator perspective and reducing recidivism, but also in uplifting survivors.
It's exceeded my expectations. The weekly interaction with the participants renews my faith that behavior change is possible. This behavior escalates if left unchecked. So the docket is showing us that we can reduce recidivism, and we can keep people safe in our community, and we can reduce the homicide rate in Cuyahoga County when it comes to domestic violence. I believe that completely. The victims feel comfortable participating. They feel safe. They have a dedicated advocate that's part of this multidisciplinary team that checks in on them, that keeps them up to date on everything that's happening in their offender's case.
One thing that's really wonderful on this docket is that at the end of this court process, there's an opportunity for survivors to submit an anonymous survey about their experience in the court process. And I think that really uplifts their ability to have a voice in a safe way.
On this docket, a defendant is put on probation for 2 years. There's no early terminations. We monitor this defendant for at least 9 months on GPS, and that's pending any violations or compliance issues. And so it allows us to keep the defendant accountable.
I want to encourage participants to look past the intense supervision and really dig in deep and identify that this may be their 4th or 5th domestic violence case, and try to understand that there's a reason that their criminal history looks the way that it does, and that there's an avenue to change that. And that's the high-risk domestic violence docket.
our victims and defendants do get back together. The no contact order is lifted once they've displayed that they have reduced risk in their case. And when the victims take advantage of that time, where there is a no contact order, they come back to a healthier relationship.
We have a whole team here that's willing to help them, who's going to try to set them up for success, who is going to give them the resources and the programming needed to succeed and hopefully never come back here.
If there's a sincere desire to change the dynamic of your family, of your relationship, then this is the place you need to be.